Hello, Hanson.
Mhm.
Welcome to Lumohubs. You are officially our first interview for the hub, right?
Wow, 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 wow,
Yeah,
wow,
you should
wow.
take a listen. Look out for my peoples. You are our official guy. So, and it's amazing that you're actually, doing Tech Week. So we get to
Thank you.
almost like jump in and get to know you better. But
Yeah,
I don't like to ask like your typical get to know you questions. We get
yeah,
into your business. You know what I'm
yeah,
saying?
yes,
So we get
absolutely.
into your business. We want to know things that other people don't know.
Okay.
Be careful how you answer, but we're still going to ask you questions that other people don't know.
All right.
So, are you ready?
Yeah, I'm ready ever since.
Okay. All right. So, if we were looking inside your laptop bag right now, what three
Oh.
things would tell us you're a tech ecosystem builder?
If you're looking into my laptop, what three things will what three things will do what?
What three things would tell us that you are a tech ecosystem builder?
That's that's a fun and hypothetical question. You could take to my laptop, but what will you see? For sure, you will see a well-worn passport with more stamps than pages.
We like that. We like that. Okay, we like that one.
You will see
Okay, okay. So that means you.
a stack of hand annotated business model canvases and a marker stained post-it notes everywhere.
We love it. That means that you are well traveled.
Then
You have
there's this
a world
particular
vision.
one. I'm going to give you more than three. So definitely you will see a USB-C hub with multiple ports. Then you will see my power extension socket with European power socket ports, American power socket ports. So that you don't take me by surprise. Once I bring out my device, I plug and off I go. So that's exactly what it is. Then a rack nest of cables, all manner of cables, USB-C, normal USB power cable, short, long, chargers for your wristwatch, and all that. That's it. I love this question.
Yes, I love it because it shows things about you that people don't even think. But on observation, sometimes those are the things that we see and we kind of know. Wow, he's got many stamps in his passport. He's well traveled. All right. So next to our next icebreaker, right?
Okay.
So now you've worked with Google, you've worked with Meta, and even the Nigerian government.
Yeah.
What's one hilarious or unexpected tech in Nigeria story you love to tell?
Well, I just hope this story will not happen right now during this call, during the course of this call. So we were planning an incubation program. It was sponsored by Facebook, now Meta, and everything was in place, and the stakes were high. We expected a government personality in the audience because he had some role to play. So just at the points where he was supposed to come in, the pitches were going on. Guess what happened? Blackout.
Are you serious?
Blackout. And one of the startup founder that was to pitch had an idea, and his idea is renewable energy kind of alternative power for developers to be able to, when there is blackout, you don't have to give excuses. You can, with a mobile device, you can power your laptops and still do your work. So the guy said, "Hey, hold on," brought out his phone, put on the torch, and connected that power device to the projector and connected to what again? Connected to the guy's system, and the pitch continued, and they were still able to project. Then the audience brought out their phones and used that as torchlights for everyone to see, and that was when the person came in, the government official. So when he came in, people were like, this is government power is supposed to be Nigeria, all the kind of. So the man too was very, very hilarious. When it was his time to speak, He was also addressing us without my power, without microphone. So he was like, "This is better than any air-conditioned hall. You people talk about disruption, but you are pitching with you're pitching with the solution to the problem here in your hands. This is what Nigerian innovation looks like. It is resilient. It works in the dark."
I know you guys were sitting there with your mouths hanging open, like, are you serious right now?
So the unexpected power outage became more powerful, become like more like the most powerful moment for the entire conference, proving that in Nigeria the infrastructure challenge isn't it's not a problem that we should push aside. We cannot avoid it. It's often the very fire that forges the best innovation. Right. So and sometimes you need a founder to prototype something that can save the high level government event. That's the end of my story. Welcome to my TED Talk.
Right? That's that TED talk that said you'll do it by any means necessary. Even
Yeah.
if you're bootlegging, rigging it to make it happen, it's by any
Yeah.
means necessary, right?
Absolutely. Yeah.
Okay. All right. So on to our next icebreaker. Be honest, right?
Yeah.
What's
Yeah.
harder, debugging a code or hurting startup founders?
Why should I be honest? This is the first question you are starting with. Be honest. Okay, to be honest, heading a startup founder or startup founders is very difficult. Debugging a code is like there's a process. You are working with computers. There's a law, there's a formula, there are syntaxes, there are ways to do these things. So if you do it right, if there's a semicolon and you remove it, it will not work. If you put it, it will work. But heading founders, if a founder is supposed to have semicolon, you can give him and he refuses to use it. You can forget at home. So ego is there's no ego with debugging codes. Computers obey and do what you want as long as you have made the requirement. But for founders, ego may come in, and relationship, emotional. There's a whole lot. Even environmental situations, force major, anything can just come in and scatter things. So it is more difficult heading founders than debugging codes. Yep, I'm
Great answer.
honest.
That's what I was saying. Listen, that's the most thing because they don't listen. You get them advice, they're like asking for it. I was like, okay, so why'd you come to me if you didn't want to listen? So yeah, the code is like, what do you need me to do?
Yeah, yeah,
Right?
yeah,
All right. So next question, which is our last icebreaker question before we get into the meats of the matter. Okay. So you've traveled across Africa,
yeah.
especially for tech. Which country tech scene surprised you the most and why?
Rwanda, Rwanda, Rwanda's tech scene surprised me the most. They're a small country. My state, Akwa Ibom, I think we have the population of Akwa Ibom is more than that of Rwanda. I think so. They're a small country. I visited Kigali, and you can literally do round from anywhere you are in Kigali in 15 minutes by car. You can get to where you want to go to. So it's not that big, but their intentionality in terms of policy, the government, I think they are landlocked. They don't have water, no seaports. But they have been able to attract people. You can open in 1 hour or 2 hours max. You can register a business in Rwanda and start, and there are things readily scheduled to enable you get up and do business in Rwanda as against other countries. And the result so far is shocking, and you can testify to that. So they are solving problems, they are welcoming people, and it's just shocking that in Africa, this is not a story, but reality. Yeah.
Okay, I thought so too. So, we're in agreement there. I
Yeah.
love what they've been doing. I've been studying them for a while.
Yeah.
So now we're going to move on, right? So you've been in the tech business for 15 years. If Nigeria's tech scene were a person, what stage would it be now? Would it be a toddler, a teenager, or an adult?
So like, okay. Um, What stage are we now? Are we a teenager? Are we an adult? Are we a baby? I would say we are a teenager or late teenager, around 17, 18 years. And we've also tried a whole lot. We have learned faster as compared to maybe other developing nations or developed nations when they were of our age. So this our late teenager syndrome is playing out in most things. Sometimes regulation comes after innovation. So in trying to achieve anything, sometimes you even go ahead to achieve, but regulation will just come somewhere and stop you. The same way a teenager will believe that the parents will love this, and he or she goes ahead to register in a football academy and coming back, they say, hey, you must go and study law. You won't play football. So we are experiencing all that. So the Nigerian tech scene is a teenager kind of. We've experienced a couple of unicorns more are coming. Our talent pool is improving. The 3NTT and other programs from government, private sector driven ones, it's helping push us up the ladder. The infrastructure deficit is still a challenge, and as we grow, we know that we'll gradually solve that problem. The regulatory volatility and growing pains is much, especially in the fintech space. So, and most of other next year, we are going to be talking about a new tax regime for businesses. I bet you most people doing business don't really understand what that means. So, and we are also trying our best as ecosystem builders to integrate such awareness and capacity building programs into events, activities, and conferences so that our ecosystem members or players, businesses will be able to learn and stay ahead of this information. No one should fall victim, obeying or complying with the government regulations. Thank you.
I love that. That's your campaign speech to run for office. I love it. So, what is the one ecosystem myth you wish people would stop believing?
One myth, uh, let me give you even two. So people believe that once you, I think this is not what I wanted to tell you, but this is just coming in now. So people believe that once you have an app, you make money. That's a myth. And we developers, we experience this a whole lot where people come to us and they're like, we have this idea, build for us, and you build for them. After 1 month, 2 months, 3 months, they come back to you that they have not made any money. That they say that once you have an app, you know, you make money. You say, no, you just make money with apps. You make money with business models, not with apps. That's one. There's also this one that data. Everywhere you go, data is king. Data do this. Once you have data, with data there is AI. And someone says he has data, how can he make money with it? But my answer to your question is that once you have a hub, once you build a hub, for example, the ecosystem will follow. It is not true. Maybe that is what is misinforming some people in government to prioritize real estate projects over the content of these hubs. For example, if you look around, you see many hubs, many community centers, many e-libraries, many infrastructure projects. They call it computer center, ICT center, tech hub, but it is real estate. When you go inside the real estate, there is no hub. Or if at all the hub started the first year for whatever reason, fourth year, after 4 years, 5 years, the hub is no more there, but the real estate is there. And we keep on. So when you build a hub, the ecosystem will not follow. So it is community first before content them. So content matters more than the container.
I'm glad you said community first because then it leads to my next question because
Yeah.
you often say like community before code. So
Yeah.
can you unpack that for the audience? What does that mean in practice?
So the principle of community before code, it means prioritizing the human and social infrastructure you have over whatever you are building. When you are building, a typical scenario is I know people that started businesses because others started a particular business and they shut down. Then the person, let me put it well. So someone started a business, is not that person is not doing well when you look at it. The office is not beautiful, he's not driving a car, but he has been doing that business. He has been progressing gradually with that business. Another person will come in and set up a shop next to that person, well furnished, soundproof generator, solar, cars for staff, brand new laptop for everybody. And they do, like, if you look at that business, you feel bad that you are not able to achieve that stage. Then before you know, 3 years, 4 years, 5 years, that business shuts down because it's not able to make profit to run that business. So if there was a source funding that business, once the source cuts off, that business too is gone. Whereas this other person did not use money to start. He had customers before starting. So he leveraged that community to keep on giving them what they need. Over time, he is there to expand the membership of that community and keep providing for them. So code community before code will save you a whole lot of trouble, plenty of them, because you don't have so much to. Yeah, you can only complain that you're not making so much money as you would have made. But when it comes to focusing on a candidate's profile, you have to just focus and make sure that you are getting who you want and giving that person what they need, not what you think they need. Yep.
Okay, I like that too. So now let's go to our other question, which is you've seen trends come and go. Like what's one shiny buzzword? Because we're talking AI, we're talking blockchain, we're throwing crypto around, like what what do you think people misunderstand with those buzzwords right now?
Ah, buzzwords. There is AI everywhere. Recently, I've been a judge in a couple of pitch competition. Somebody will just come up. He has an idea that is AI powered. They are doing this and doing that. And how many customers do you have? Actually, it's an idea. They are just trying to. Okay. Next person. Okay, we are disrupting the real estate days. We want to do this. Okay, do you have? They don't have anything. So the AI buzzword recently is also an issue. Most people don't even understand the AI very well. I prefer you pitch your solution. For example, I can enable you send 200 letters within 5 minutes. I'm like, that's insane. How is that possible? I use AI. Oh, it makes sense. Then I am an AI that does this and that. I want to ask, okay, can you leave this AI? What do you do? And most times, once you say leave AI, pitch, don't mention AI. What do you do? You don't have what. So the myth is not the AI that does the business. Let me ask you how. Then you tell us about the AI. That's one myth. Another thing is blockchain or Web3, not blockchain as a whole. So I've met a couple of people that will be like, okay, if I ask, what do you do? Mostly when they come and ask for opportunities. So my next question is, what do you do? So that I can know what to recommend or refer you to. They will be like, they are into Web3. Okay. What do you mean by into Web3? Like, what do you do in Web3? Are you a developer? I say, no, that they are a social media manager, but for Web3. Hey, okay, I will now be, okay, maybe me now. I'm ecosystem builder, but for Web2. So you are a social media manager, right? So if I want to give you a job now to manage social media for Web1 and I pay you 1 million naira, you will not do it, Abby. So there is, I don't know how it started. There is something making people see if you're a developer, you're a developer, but you are now focusing on your strength is in doing a particular thing, you know. So it's understandable more as compared to you just woke up. I don't know your background before. You just tell me that you are into Web3. What do you do in Web3? You're a social media manager. So it means that if there is a social media management job and the pay is good, the environment is good, the 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 what the people there are friendly, and it's where a family would want to identify with, because they're not doing Web3, won't do it. So that's also another myth. that I've been experiencing in the course of my doing my
I
job.
love I love
Yep.
this. It's like you're dropping so many gems for people and telling us how to practice our pitches no matter who you are and where you are.
Yeah.
So, you're dropping lots of gems there, Hanson. You're doing really good. So, my next question, before I continue with more questions, I know that the audience had questions, but I wanted us to get to know who you are and, how you see innovation. Let's talk about your personal journey, right? So, if your younger self could see where you are right now today, what do you
Yeah.
think he'd be most shocked by? The impact or the sleepless nights?
My younger self impacts definitely the sleepless night. Yeah, definitely the sleepless night. So it has been very. I know when passion is what is driving you, you can you can you can forget to sleep. You can also wake up at the middle of anything at night to do that idea that just dropped. You get up to implement that. So and it is absurd when people that are not able to spend the sleepless nights see you stay awake. They're always wondering what's keeping this guy awake. So in real life, I have experienced this a whole lot of the time. So I don't even know how to explain this, but I know that it's not that easy. Sometimes you do things people don't understand why you do them. There's no immediate gain attached to it. I think that's the right word. There's no immediate gain attached to this, but they keep on seeing you push. You know. So if I look at my younger self, this is still what it is. Sleepless night. I can't think of any other thing. Sleepless night because the impact is what comes at the end, and everyone can share with it. Result. Yeah.
If anyone's an entrepreneur and they're not saying sleepless nights or you're not trying to make impacts, I don't know what they're doing because people like literally text me like, I beg you don't sleep. So if you're not having sleepless nights, I kind of question you, not because it's expected, but just because you're trying to you're trying to be the solution person for your community, the world, whatever the case may be. So yeah, that was a good answer. But now let's talk
It
about
also it's shocking though, and anyone will be bothered or worried because it's not convenient. It's not convenient. So there's that shock of meditation or mediation. There's that shock of what again emotional labor. Like why is someone stressing himself like this? And for what? There must be something about this. All right.
right, and a lot of people don't see it, and you're right. I think that's when most people start talking to you about meditation, and our families that are not used to the word meditation is like, well, strange thing you're going in. It's like, no, mom, it's the mind. The mind is not sleeping. I need to calm it down. So, but yeah, so let's talk more about what's the one failure or a flop that actually turned into a blessing for you? Because a lot of the times we do something and it may look one way, but it actually became a blessing.
Yeah. A flop that became a blessing. So I know that I we I can't remember the year between 2015, 16, 17. Okay, I remember 2012, 2014. I was supposed to go to London and I applied for a visa from UK embassy and my passport was delayed and I think my visa came out. It's either the visa came out, my visa came out, they did not tell me. And on the day I would have traveled, I just reluctantly reached out and I was told that my visa had been out since. So I wasn't happy. Like I was angry. That would have been that was supposed to be my first international trip. So and I was not able to travel when was supposed to travel. But in the course of complaining, reporting, and showing that this is not professional at all, I I got to meet people. If I eventually met up with the trip, and I got to meet people, and people were also curious, why others are why others are being rejected, and I'm given my visa and I'm not getting it on time, and all that and all that. People that have more money than me were rejected, and I got the visa and they not give it to me. The whole story around this, and so I got to meet a whole lot of people who were interested in this. So that's disappointment not to travel when I would have traveled was a flop. But what I achieved out of that disappointment and throughout my trip, the people I met, they think so. You know how you come late and it's not your fault. I was given priority treatment. It was so if I went earlier, what I achieved from that trip, I wouldn't have achieved. So that's the one that's very spectacular. I can remember.
So we call that God's divine timing,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
Okay. Yeah. So the divine timing allowed you to be there at the right moment at the right time and to make the right impact,
absolutely.
right?
Yeah, yeah,
All right. So now we're going to start rating. So if you had to describe, right?
yeah.
If you had to describe your leadership style using a tech metaphor, are you more open source, cloud based, or a beta version, always updating?
Definitely, I'm open source naturally. Like everyone knows, I am open source, and I can in terms of transparency, auditing, community contributions. I will give some examples. Um, there we train our staff even when we were very small. We are in the knowledge economy, so if you're not trained, then I don't know what you're going to be offering. So we train our staff regularly. Then a couple of people reach. Then when we train them, we can't when after training them, we can't afford them again. So they get a better job and leave. And we train again. After training them, we can't afford them because we don't get the business that can now pay them. They get a better job and they leave. So other people around me were doing the same business. When I reach out to them, how are you guys coping? They say they don't train people. That they don't train you because you will surely leave. I say, okay, if I don't train them, what will they be doing? So in the course of that, I research and discovered that it is better to train your staff and they leave than you don't train them and they stay. All those people that said they don't train their staff, all, they have shut down. We that we train and they leave, we are still in business. So I'm open source. I don't close my books. I open my books. You see, everyone sees, and I also allow the staff or people around, not just the staff, even in ecosystem building. For example, the work we are doing with the Acquire Tech Week, it is very transparent. The community runs itself. That's the best way to put it. So I'm open source anytime, any day.
I love it.
Thank
So we
you.
have a question from the audience, and that question is like, what inspired you to help innovators?
Okay. So I when I went to when I went to when I went to Silicon Valley, Google's headquarters on their invitation, I coming from Uyo in Akwa Ibom State in Nigeria, where to see someone of to see a prominent person is always you don't have ease of access. So when I got there, I met these guys, the founders, and every other persons in the tech space, leaders, like billionaires. And it wasn't like anything. It wasn't like I'm meeting anybody. It was just normal. And they had opening ears. They listened to me. They answered my questions, and they also offered solutions. So, but the solutions were scary. Not that I didn't know these solutions, I knew them, but I know that I can't afford, doing this. I don't have sponsor, I don't have funding capital, nothing. I just have the interest. And they told me just go and start. As a matter of fact, that's how the name Start Innovation Hub, my company, came because the name too, I had to use a name that would pursue me. Go and start. Just go and start. So And I asked, even when I start, who will I work with? There are no talents out there that are skilled. They said talent is scarce globally. Talent is scarce globally. So, and they are scale to these things. So if I'm looking for five, some people are looking for 10,000. know. So I saw in all those things, I saw opportunities. So when I came back, I said, hey, there is opportunity out there, but talents are not out there. Talent is here, and the people that are getting these opportunities mostly they are not from there. They migrated there. The people in Lagos, for example, most of them migrated to Lagos. But Lagos has opportunities. So, and we here we are saying that we don't have jobs, we are unemployed, we are unemployable. So, can we do an experiment? Let us attempt to be employable for a particular market and see whether it will work. So we built capacity for that and it worked. We built again and it worked. The goal was to build capacity, identify people so that we can create our own solutions here. But I discovered that as we are building, they migrate. We build because they need to survive. They need a better life. As you build, they migrate. So we decided to create a business model around building and migrating, and it became a business.
Wow. I love solutions that take off haphazardly and that it just became a business and took off on its own,
But that
right?
was on one part. That was on one part. So the thing of supporting innovators came apart from getting them to discover themselves and get jobs. People started building and moving, but there were no opportunities. So I discovered that again that if I choose because I also had offers to get the job. So whenever these offers come, and I'll look at what have I achieved in the past and how many people have been impacted as compared to only me getting absorbed inside Google or Facebook, for example, what will happen? What I compare those things and is the future brighter? Yes. If I still do this and we hit what we want to hit, will I still achieve what I would have achieved if I got that job? Yes, even better, 100 times, 1,000 times. So I said, oh, let us do this so that not only me will benefit, but everybody around me. That's why I'm doing this.
And that's why you always use the word community because you
Yeah.
don't just look at yourself, you're always thinking of the impact of those around you.
Yeah.
Good. All right. So now we've done all the serious ones, right? This is the non serious questions. Do not take this no way, one way or the other. Just know we're about to go fast and furious, right?
Yeah.
Are
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
ready?
Yes, I'm ready.
Okay. Sure. Okay. So listen, coffee or palm wine during a hackathon?
Coffee, both, depending on the time. When you are working, when you are hacking, coffee. But after you've achieved, you want to relax. After announcing the winners, we definitely do palm wine. So hybrid.
Right, a little bit of both. Coffee here, palm wine here. Okay.
Yeah.
So, what is the worst pitch startup you've ever heard in one sentence? Like, without even going into more than one sentence, what's the worst pitch you've ever heard?
The worst speech I've ever heard. The worst speech I've ever heard. So I know that someone has pitched about we were discussing tech startups and solutions that can scale. So and someone was talking about having a school as his own startup. Like a nursery school, nursery primary secondary school. So having the school was not the challenge, was not the problem. But what was worst there was that the person saw the person came into an investment, a VC space with an NGO product. Because why are you doing this? There are so many children in Africa, they don't have education. We want to give them education. What will you eat? How will you survive to give them education? You did not have anything to back that up. So I would consider that the worst pitch.
Okay. So, if you weren't doing tech, because we know you're about tech, everything in your bio is tech, 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 right? If you weren't doing tech, what would you be doing right now?
I'll be a math teacher. I'll be teaching math on YouTube.
You actually like math? 'Cause I mean, I was in finance for the longest and I hated math. So you actually like math?
Now, yeah, I love mathematics. Like if there was no tape, I would have been a mathematician.
So you're still an educator all the way around. It still goes into that one big pot, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So what's your secret non-tech hobby that helps you recharge?
I used to play golf, but whenever I go to play golf, it takes my whole day, and customers will be complaining, you know. So I ride bicycle, so I do biking bicycle. I ride around, and once in a while I see play golf.
All right. That is very relaxing. I mean, the scenes and everything else, right? So,
Yeah,
especially, where you live, there's lots of nice, beautiful scenery, right?
yeah.
So, what is your dream collab? Like, if you could co build something with any global tech leader, no restrictions, who would it be? And what would it be?
Okay, so who will it be? I love Google. I can build anything with Google. But what will it be? We need to, in Africa, we are offline first. So that thing we will build will be, maybe since we are just talking about AI now, it has to be an on-device offline AI solution that will drive education and knowledge sharing at the very basic of informal sector in Africa.
I love that. So we have a question from the audience. We only have one more question left, but we have a question from the audience. And you've been such a great guest. And I like the fact that for you, everything is like a metaphor. You're like, been there, done that. I got all the answers. Let me tell you how, because I've
Yeah.
fallen down, I've jumped up, and I've done a lot. So it's well rounded. So thank you for joining us. You've
Thank
done really
you.
well.
Thank you.
So, what do you think innovators, from the question, this is from Ravine, what do you think innovators in Africa, specifically in Kenya, need most right now?
Innovators need a regulatory friendlier environment. They need sandboxes, to try their hands first before they go to connect to the live whatever and launch. So, and these regulations shouldn't be done and imposed on innovators, should be done alongside innovators, because they are the ones that feel the pains. They are the market. Without the innovators, you are regulating nobody. So I believe that we need a friendlier environment, regulatory environment,
I
because
love it. So,
in Africa, for example, we need that interoperability for cross-border payment, and so many things are still fragmented, and it's making life more difficult. It is more expensive for me to travel within Africa than to travel to Europe or any other place in the world. So beyond tech, we need to also be able to travel with ease. I don't have to go to Europe before I come to Africa. You know.
make it make sense. Like, just make it make sense. All right. So, my final question to you is this, right?
Yeah.
Which is, I want you to finish this sentence. The next generation of African innovators will,
The next generation of African innovators will put the world in our palms. They will solve the poverty problem we are facing in Africa. Whenever you look back, whenever you think of Africa, you think them as talent powerhouses and not people that need aids. The next generation of innovators will make the world a better place than this.
you see that? Those are like the last final words, and nothing else needs to be said.
Yeah.
Hanson Johnson, you've been such an amazing guest. You are our first guest at Lumohub. We all appreciate you. We get to share your information. You've dropped so many gems that we could just take a pitch from every sentence that you said.
Thank you.
So I really love the fact that you said that. Is
Thank
there any last words that you'd like to say? I know that you have Tech Week coming up.
Yeah. Yeah.
So would you like to tell us, would you like to conclude in telling us more about that?
So if you're a Nigerian, Nigeria is yours. If you're Kenyan, Kenya is yours. If you're an American, America is yours. So whenever people refer to government, they refer to them to do what they want to do as if they are not part of government in one way or the other. So we should learn to be responsible and also help in creating the type of environment we would live or the type of community we would want to live in. That's it.
I love it. You tied community right back into it, and that's our most important word. Is
Thank you.
talk more about the event that's coming up for you.
Oh,
And
okay. Okay. Oh, absolutely. Thank you very much. Akwa Ibom Tech Week is coming up from the 3rd of November to 8th of November. So Akwa Ibom Tech Week is a premier event in Akwa Ibom where it's organized by Ibom Innovation Network. And Ibom Innovation Network is a network of innovators that are from Akwa Ibom all over the world. So we come together every year to organize this tech week to serve as a platform where we showcase the stuff we are made of and also attract opportunities to the state. So this year is very remarkable. It's our fourth edition. The first edition was in 2021. We did not have it in 2022, but 2023 was better than 2021. 2024 was better than 2023. 2025 is bigger than all of them. So the week at a glance, we have a roundtable with the first lady of Akwa Ibom State. It's actually women in tech. So in that roundtable will be only women in that hall. So we are bringing from the enthusiasts, the startup founders, and the experienced women in tech ecosystem enablers that are women to have a conversation with the first lady and see how we can work together. Excuse me. See how we can work together to develop the ecosystem and create more opportunities for women. So that is for the roundtable with the First Lady. We are also working with the Commissioner Ministry of Science and Digital Economy to create workshops and programs for civil servants and for public servants around AI, utility, and productivity. We also have um, a day set aside for government and public sector. On that day, we showcase government innovation, have policy dialogue conversations on how we can ensure that whatever the governor has in mind to achieve in the RISE agenda, we can choose this collaborative path to achieving all that. So I didn't mention the keynotes and the workshops and the tourism component associated with the event, because normally conference has keynote speakers and all that. And we've also enjoyed sponsorship from friends, partners, and sponsors, even government agencies at the federal and at the state level. So I seize this opportunity to invite you to join us for Akwa Ibom Tech Week. The website is akwaibomtechweek.com. Or even if you Google Akwa Ibom Tech Week, you will definitely see that popping up. So I look forward to personally welcoming you. It's just 2 weeks from now. After next week is Tech Week from 3rd to 8th. So it is week packed away from all the hard talks and the technical things and the conference activities. There's after party, mixers, and other side events happening around town. So you will definitely get value out of this when you join us. Thank you.
thank you. Our team can't wait to join you. We are sending TT from the Global Chamber of Commerce, Nigeria. It's a new organization that's going to be supporting Nigerian ecosystem. So we sent
Yeah.
her straight to you so that you could show her the way.
Yeah.
And Dami will be joining you as well as Godwin will be joining you from our team. We're all excited
Thank
to
you.
join us on Tech Week.
Thank you. Thank you.
Hanson, once again, thank you for being a wonderful guest, our first guest. We look forward to definitely sharing this information and we look forward to collaborating with you in the future.
Thank you too. Really appreciate it.
All right. Have a good day.
Bye bye.
Bye.
Bye.